Jennifer Kesse, a 24-year-old woman from Orlando, Florida, vanished without a trace in the early hours of January 24, 2006, leaving behind a mysterious case that has puzzled investigators and her family for over a decade. Jennifer had recently moved into a condominium complex and worked as a finance manager at Central Florida Investments. The night before her disappearance, she had enjoyed a typical evening, speaking to her family and making plans for the following day. She was described as a responsible, vibrant young woman with a bright future ahead of her. She lived alone, but her friends and family spoke highly of her, noting that there was nothing unusual or troubling in her personal life. On the morning of January 24th, Jennifer failed to show up for work. Her boyfriend, who had been in a different city for business, tried reaching her by phone but got no response. Concerned, her father drove to her apartment. Upon arriving, he found her car parked in the same spot as usual, but Jennifer was nowhere to be found. Her purse, wallet, and keys were left behind, making it clear that she had not left voluntarily. When the police arrived, they found no signs of forced entry into her apartment, and nothing appeared to have been disturbed. Jennifer's cell phone, which she always kept with her, was missing. Her car, a Chevy Malibu, was discovered abandoned at a nearby apartment complex, but there were no clues that could explain how it got there. Surveillance footage from the complex, however, revealed something chilling. A shadowy figure walking away from her car. The footage, which was later released to the public, showed an individual dressed in dark clothing walking across the parking lot near Jennifer's vehicle. The figure's face was obscured, and there was no clear indication of their identity or gender. Despite intense efforts to analyze the footage, investigators were unable to determine who the person was, or whether they had any connection to Jennifer's disappearance. The case quickly grew into a media sensation, but as weeks turned into months and then years, it seemed like the case was heading toward a cold end. Investigators pursued a range of theories, including the possibility that Jennifer was the victim of a random kidnapping. They looked into her personal relationships, but her friends and family insisted that there was no one who would want to harm her. She was not involved in any risky behavior or dangerous relationships. Despite several suspects being interviewed and a number of potential leads, none panned out. In 2008, the Orlando Police Department handed the case over to the FBI, but even their resources could not provide any answers. They issued a public plea for any information about Jennifer's disappearance, but no new leads surfaced. In 2011, a breakthrough occurred when investigators found out that the person in the surveillance footage near Jennifer's car had been seen in the same area on multiple occasions prior to her disappearance. The figure appeared to have been familiar with the complex, but no further details were uncovered to explain why they were there or how they were involved. Jennifer's family, devastated by the lack of answers, has continued to fight for justice. In 2013, they offered a substantial reward for any information leading to the discovery of Jennifer's whereabouts, but the case remained frustratingly stagnant. Over the years, the Kesse family has fought to keep the case alive in the media, hoping that someone will come forward with crucial information. One of the enduring theories is that Jennifer's disappearance was not a random act, but a targeted crime. Some speculated that she was kidnapped by someone who knew her routine and was familiar with her apartment complex. However, no evidence ever linked any of her acquaintances to the crime. Despite the ongoing search, Jennifer Kesse's disappearance remains one of Florida's most haunting unsolved mysteries. The lack of physical evidence, coupled with the frustrating lack of concrete leads, has left the Kesse family and investigators in a perpetual state of uncertainty. As time goes on, the hope that the truth will be uncovered seems to fade, but Jennifer's family refuses to give up their quest for answers. The case remains unsolved, no arrests have been made, and Jennifer's whereabouts are still unknown.